Hi there, animal explorers! Welcome back to Daisy's Animal Facts, the show where we step into colorful gardens and discover the most spectacular birds on our planet. I'm your host, Daisy, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join me on another incredible adventure into the animal kingdom. Today's episode is about one of the most beautiful and dramatic birds in the world. They strut around like feathered royalty. They have tails that look like they're covered in shimmering jewels. And when they spread their magnificent feathers, it's like watching a living work of art unfold before your eyes. The males put on the most amazing dance shows to impress the ladies, shaking their brilliant feathers and showing off colors that seem almost too bright to be real. Can you guess what they are? That's right, peacocks! So grab your binoculars, put on your explorer's hat, and get ready for a dazzling adventure. We're heading to gardens, forests, and farms around the world to explore the amazing life of peacocks. Where every feather tells a story of beauty and wonder, let's spread our wings and soar into discovery! Peacocks are some of the most stunning birds in the world, and they're absolutely magnificent. These incredible creatures are actually part of the pheasant family. But they're like the supermodels of the bird world. When most people say peacocks, they're usually talking about the males, while the females are called peons. And together, they're known as peafowl. These spectacular birds are famous for their absolutely enormous, colorful tail feathers that can spread out like a giant, shimmering fan. An adult male peacock can be up to 7 feet long from his beak to the tip of his tail. And when he spreads those amazing tail feathers, he can be over 6 feet wide. That's wider than most people are tall. What makes peacocks extra special is their incredibly dramatic personalities. They're confident, bold, and love to show off their beautiful feathers. Peacocks are known for being some of the most theatrical animals in the bird world. Always ready to put on a spectacular display. There are 3 main types of peafowl in the world. Indian peacocks are the most common and the ones most people know about, with brilliant blue and green feathers. Green peacocks live in Southeast Asia and have even more vibrant colors. Congo peacocks live in Africa and are the most mysterious of all peafowl species. Peacocks live in many different places around the world, but they're very particular about where they call home. These amazing birds originally come from Asia, but now you can find them in parks, farms, and gardens on almost every continent. Indian peacocks, the ones most people are familiar with, originally lived in the forests and grasslands of India and Sri Lanka. They love areas that have both trees for roosting and open spaces for showing off their beautiful tail displays. These incredible birds prefer places where they can find plenty of food, fresh water, and tall trees to sleep in at night. They're often found near farms and villages because they like the mix of open fields and scattered trees that these areas provide. Peacocks are very adaptable and have learned to live alongside humans in many places. You might see them wandering around parks, botanical gardens, zoos, and even some neighborhoods where people keep them as ornamental birds. During the day, peacocks like to forage on the ground for food, but when night falls, they fly up into tall trees to sleep safely away from predators. They're surprisingly good flyers despite their large size and long tail feathers. However, wild peacocks still live in their natural habitats in India, Southeast Asia, and parts of Africa. These wild populations face challenges from habitat loss as forests are cleared for farming and development. A peacock's most famous feature is his incredible tail, which isn't actually his tail at all. Those long, beautiful feathers are called a train, and they grow from his back. His real tail is underneath and helps support all those gorgeous feathers. The train can have over 200 individual feathers, each one decorated with what looks like a giant eye. These eye spots, called ocelli, shimmer with blues, greens, and golds that change color as the peacock moves. Each feather can be over 5 feet long. Peacocks have brilliant blue and green bodies that look like they're made of shiny metal. Their neck feathers are an incredible electric blue that seems to glow in the sunlight, while their backs shimmer with emerald green. Their heads are topped with a crown of small feathers called a crest that looks like a tiny fan. This crest can move up and down depending on the peacock's mood, kind of like how our eyebrows show our emotions. Peacocks have strong, sturdy legs with sharp spurs that they use for protection. Despite their fancy appearance, they're actually quite tough and can run fast when they need to escape danger. Their wings might look small compared to their body, but peacocks are surprisingly good flyers. They can fly up to tall tree branches and even onto rooftops when they want to get a good view or find a safe place to sleep. Peacocks have excellent eyesight and can see colors even better than humans can. This helps them spot predators and also appreciate the beautiful colors of other peacocks. Peacocks are omnivores, which means they eat both plants and animals. They're like feathered garbage disposals who will eat almost anything they can find. These adaptable birds spend much of their day searching for food on the ground. Peacocks love to eat insects like beetles, ants, termites, and grasshoppers. They're excellent pest controllers and can help farmers by eating bugs that damage crops. They use their sharp beaks to grab insects and small creatures hiding in the grass. These birds also enjoy eating seeds, berries, fruits, and flower petals. They're particularly fond of figs and other sweet fruits when they're available. In gardens, you might see them nibbling on flower heads and young shoots. A peacock needs to eat quite a bit of food each day to maintain his magnificent feathers and keep his energy up for all that displaying and strutting around. Growing and maintaining those beautiful tail feathers takes a lot of nutrition. Despite their large size and incredibly long tail feathers, peacocks are much more athletic than many people realize. These magnificent birds have developed amazing ways to move both on the ground and in the air. Peacocks are excellent walkers who can cover long distances while foraging for food. They have a distinctive, regal way of walking that makes them look like they're constantly strutting down a fashion runway. Each step is deliberate and graceful, even when they're just looking for bugs in the grass. When peacocks need to move quickly, they can run surprisingly fast. They lift their long train feathers up and sprint across open ground, reaching speeds that can surprise predators and people alike. These beautiful birds are also much better flyers than most people expect. When a peacock flies, he folds his train feathers back and uses his strong wings to lift his heavy body into the air. They can fly up to tree branches that are 30 feet high or more. Peacocks often fly short distances to get from tree to tree or to reach elevated perches where they can get a good view of their surroundings. They prefer not to fly long distances, but they certainly can when they need to. At night, peacocks always fly up into tall trees to sleep. This keeps them safe from ground predators like foxes and wild cats. They choose the highest branches they can reach and settle in for a peaceful night's rest. Young peacocks learn to fly before their tail feathers grow to full size. As males mature and their trains get longer and heavier, flying becomes more challenging, but they never completely lose their ability to take to the air when necessary. Peacocks have fascinating social lives that are full of drama, beauty, and interesting relationships. While they're not as social as some birds, they do form communities and have complex ways of interacting with each other. During most of the year, peacocks and peons live in small groups where they forage together and watch out for predators. These groups help them stay safe and find food more efficiently. These magnificent birds also make softer clucking sounds when they're content and feeding, similar to the sounds chickens make. Mother peons have special gentle calls that they use to communicate with their chicks. Peacocks use their body language as much as their voices to communicate. The position of their crest feathers, the way they hold their tail, and how they move their head all send messages to other peafowl. Baby peacocks, called peacocks, are absolutely adorable and start life as fluffy, energetic little creatures who are nothing like their glamorous parents. Their journey from tiny chicks to magnificent adults is full of learning and growing. Peons are dedicated mothers who build their nests on the ground, usually hidden under bushes or in tall grass where predators can't easily find them. They lay between 4 and 8 eggs that are cream-colored with brown spots. Mother peons sit on their eggs for about 28 days, rarely leaving the nest except to quickly find food and water. During this time, they're very vulnerable because they can't fly away quickly if predators approach. When peachocks hatch, they're covered in soft, fluffy down feathers that are usually brown and cream-colored. This camouflage helps them hide from predators during their most vulnerable weeks. Baby peafowl can walk and run almost immediately after hatching, and within a few days, they can even fly short distances. This is very important because it helps them escape from ground predators like snakes and foxes. Peachocks stay close to their mother for several months, learning everything they need to know about finding food, avoiding danger, and behaving like proper peafowl. The mother teaches them what to eat and where to find the safest places to sleep. Young male peachocks don't grow their spectacular tail feathers until they're about 3 years old. Until then, they look very similar to females, with modest brown and gray feathers that help them stay hidden. Female peons mature faster than males and can start having babies of their own when they're about 2 years old. Males need to wait until their beautiful feathers are fully developed before they can attract mates. The peacock's tail display is one of the most spectacular shows in the entire animal kingdom, and it's absolutely breathtaking to witness. This incredible performance is how male peacocks try to impress female peons during breeding season. When a peacock wants to show off, he fans out his enormous train of feathers into a giant semicircle that towers above his head. The display can be over 6 feet wide and creates a shimmering wall of colors that seems to move and dance in the light. Each feather in the display has a beautiful eye spot that looks like a giant jewel. These eye spots contain microscopic structures that reflect light in different ways, creating colors that shift from blue to green to gold depending on the angle you view them from. During his display, the peacock doesn't just stand still. He shakes his entire train, making the feathers rustle and the eye spots shimmer and flash. This movement creates an almost hypnotic effect that's designed to catch the attention of any nearby peons. The displaying peacock also turns slowly in a circle, showing off his magnificent feathers from every angle. He might lower his head and neck toward a female while keeping his train spread high above him. Along with the visual display, peacocks make special calls and sounds during their performances. They might give soft chirps and rattles that are much gentler than their usual harsh cries. Creating and maintaining these incredible tail feathers requires a lot of energy and resources. Only the healthiest, strongest males can grow the most impressive trains, which is why peons use the quality of the display to choose the best mates. The entire display usually lasts several minutes, and a determined peacock might repeat his performance many times throughout the day during breeding season. Peacocks are much smarter and more personality-filled than many people realize. These magnificent birds have complex minds and individual characteristics that make each one unique and interesting. These intelligent birds have excellent memories and can remember the locations of good food. Sources: safe roosting spots. And even individual humans who have treated them kindly or unkindly in the past. Peacocks are naturally curious animals who investigate new objects and changes in their environment. They'll carefully examine anything unusual with their beaks and sometimes their feet before deciding if it's interesting or dangerous. Each peacock has his own distinct personality. Some are bold and outgoing, always ready to show off their feathers and interact with people. Others are more shy and reserved, preferring to observe from a distance before approaching. These birds can learn routines and recognize patterns in their daily lives. Pet peacocks often learn feeding times and will gather near their food area when they expect meals to arrive. Peacocks can also recognize individual humans and will often treat familiar people differently than strangers. They might approach people they know while staying cautious around newcomers. Some peacocks seem to enjoy human attention and will deliberately display their feathers for people who stop to admire them. They appear to understand that their beauty attracts positive attention. These clever birds can solve simple problems and figure out how to get to food or water that might be slightly out of reach. They're also good at finding creative ways to escape from enclosures if they're determined to explore. Peacocks show emotions through their body language and behavior. A happy, content peacock might preen his feathers calmly and make soft sounds, while a stressed or frightened bird will hold his crest feathers high and make alarm calls. In ancient Greece and Rome, peacocks were associated with the gods and goddesses. People believed that the eye spots on peacock feathers were actually the eyes of the gods watching over humanity. Indian culture considers peacocks to be sacred birds that bring good fortune and protection. The peacock is actually the national bird of India, and images of peacocks appear in traditional art, clothing, and decorations throughout the country. Many royal families throughout history have kept peacocks in their palace gardens as symbols of their wealth and power. The bird's incredible beauty and regal appearance made them perfect additions to the most elegant estates. Peacock feathers have been used in fashion and decoration for centuries. However, people now understand that it's better to collect naturally shed feathers rather than harming the birds for their plumage. Today, peacocks continue to symbolize beauty, pride, and elegance in many cultures. They appear on clothing, jewelry, and decorations as representations of natural magnificence. While peacocks aren't currently endangered, they do face some challenges in the wild, and conservation efforts help ensure these magnificent birds will continue to thrive for future generations to admire and enjoy. The biggest threat to wild peacocks is habitat loss. As forests are cleared for farming and development, peacocks lose the trees they need for roosting and the diverse food sources they depend on. Hunting has been a problem for some peacock populations, particularly for their beautiful feathers. Fortunately, laws now protect peacocks in most countries, and people are learning that naturally shed feathers are just as beautiful as those taken from living birds. Many zoos and wildlife parks around the world maintain breeding populations of different peacock species. These programs help ensure that genetic diversity is preserved and that healthy populations continue to exist. In some areas, peacocks have actually become quite common thanks to protection efforts and their adaptability to living near humans. Some places even have too many peacocks and have to manage populations carefully. Education programs help people learn about peacocks and appreciate their beauty without disturbing or harming them. When people understand how special these birds are, they're more likely to protect them. Habitat restoration projects create and preserve the mixed forest and grassland environments that peacocks need to thrive. These efforts benefit not only peacocks, but many other wildlife species as well. Some communities have learned to coexist peacefully with peacocks, enjoying their beauty while respecting their needs for space and safety. Research continues to help scientists understand peacock behavior, needs, and population dynamics so that conservation efforts can be as effective as possible. And that's our incredible adventure exploring the dazzling world of peacocks, from their spectacular tail displays to their regal personalities and their important place in human culture. Peacocks show us that nature is capable of creating living masterpieces that inspire wonder and joy. Thanks for spreading your wings and soaring into the colorful world of peacocks with us today on Daisy's Animal Facts. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible feathered royalty, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again for our next adventure into the animal kingdom. And remember, the more we learn about magnificent animals like peacocks, the better we can appreciate the amazing diversity of life on our planet. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and stay curious. Friends, the world is full of beautiful creatures waiting to share their stories. And every discovery makes our world a little more wonderful.